That'll make the cut there, because it makes sense. I stuffed that bit of concrete realization in the back pocket of my mind. If the opportunity arose, me and Olivia would have a real talk. A real talk. Whatever the result, it'd be better for both of us. For everyone. I slipped my phone into my pocket and gestured to Liz we could head out. We had 30-ish minutes before we'd meet back up with my parents, and I still needed to get something for them as well as Olivia. I had naturally cleared the doors of the shop before the rest of her, which I would continue to find amusing until the day I died. As I was walking towards the door and shot... Wouldn't that, get stuck on her neck? As I walked towards the door, I shot a glance towards the tiny merchant, who gave me a curt but pleasant nod. I went to returning kind when my eyes reflexively scanned the contents of the glass enclosure that acted as the front counter. In it were more trinkets, but these looked more like one-offs, unlike the more mass-produced watches or jewelry in the rest of the store. My eyes landed on one of the more unique pieces, my chest constricted. Lying within the counter, laid gingerly on a glass suspending frame, was a singular feather quill pen. It wasn't quite the same shade as the one Yadakan had used. It was darker, but ultimately from a similar style. This was braced with silver and thin bands of gold. It took great effort not to let the tears overtake me. It was also as well that I couldn't really talk anymore because my throat constricted to the point that would have been impossible. I walked over to the counter and placed my hand on the glass, staring intently at the pen. The dinosaur followed my line of sight and realized what I was staring at. Would you like to see it? I nodded as intensely as my brace would allow. The shopkeeper gently lifted it out the back of the case and placed it on the counter, gestured for me to take a closer look. I almost didn't, but forced myself to lift the pen. It was so similar. We don't get these very often. Even when we do, they usually sit for a long time. This isn't the type of store that moves a crazy amount of product, but these sorts of things sit in cases for months at a time. He explained, watching me, taking in my reverence. Surprised to hear that. Expected the store to be low in traffic, but... I pulled out my phone. Why sell them? Why stock them if they're so hard to sell? To the shopkeeper's credit, he didn't react to having to read my question. Because when they do sell, they're sold to people with reactions like yours. I laid the pen back onto the frame and wiped my eyes. Didn't make it through the conversation before they won out. The whole reason I started this shop is because I'm one of those people who's gonna tell you an emotional story that ties into the heart of your character arc, my friend. The whole reason I started this little store was to make people make their memories as permanent as possible. Memories are the best time. Life is hard, kid, and things like that, and the emotions you're feeling now. That's what makes life worth it. I couldn't help but laugh because he was right about the pen on the spot. Oh, now we're fucking summarizing shit? Now we're not... What? You're so fucking verbose, and then you're like, nah, I just bought it and left. This guy just fucking floored. Jesus, such a whiplash after the rest of it. I'm not saying it's bad, this is the right move to make. What the hell? He just learned this, I guess. He told me it'd take an hour, but we'd be ready for pickup then. Oh, he also wanted something engraved on it. Agreed without issue and thanked him again. With parting waves, I left the store. To her credit, Liz was waiting patiently outside. Are you okay? I nodded. Because I really was. The rest of the shopping excursion went smoothly. This day was a bit longer and clearly enjoyed talking to my parents. I think they had a lot of the same crazy business drive she had, so there was a lot of common ground there. Eventually, though, she'd have to break off and complete the original reason she was at the mall in the first place. To get Uncle Mike a Christmas present. You didn't really seem the type to leave things like that to the last minute. Well, after I heard what he did to Damien, I may have thrown his original gift away, she said, clearly embarrassed. Couldn't help but snort a laugh, though. Inco! I could see the playful smirk on her snout. Whoops. You're good. I'm glad things are squared away with you two. I'm planning on talking to him next time I see him. If you get the chance, kid, let him know. She confirmed that she would and finally broke off, leaving just me and my parents. Finding everything you need then? I lifted my bags of giftable riches in my left hand and kept an intricately carved wooden box with the most important gift of the day in my right, tightly held to my chest. I noted. Inco, that says nodded. I nodded. We had dinner together again. I could really get used to this. It was a bit more conversational, though. Dad and Mom told me about the shopping they did together. How it had been a long time since they just had taken time to spend time together like that. Jesus! Don't use time that many times. Saturation setting, and I guess the work would keep them some distance apart, just like they would keep them from me, huh? Told Mom and Dad about my talk with Liz. How Spot what I think would be the perfect gift for Olivia. Oh, that pen. Oh, that pen. It's beautiful. Did you get engraved on it? I shook my head at her. She gave me a playful, motherly pow, but let it go. The words are for the reader at the end of the story. That's why people do this. It's because it makes sense from a writer's perspective. Like, I know, but also fuck you. Come on. It doesn't matter, right? We already know that it's going to be something saccharine. And not that, Dinner concluded. Wow, that went fast. Mom and Dad offered to watch a movie with me, but I politely declined. I was clearly almost complete. Jesus! The writing is kind of stumbling in a weird way. I don't know what it is, but my sea legs are wearing out on my game now. I wasn't tired by the end of the day like I had been recently. Even accounting for all the walking in the mall, oddly enough. Maybe it was less about me being weakened and more about the cold. They settled in to watch a movie by themselves. Just before I crossed the threshold of the stairs and lost sight of the living room, I could see them cuddled together on the couch. Mom resting her head on Dad's shoulders, his head on top of hers. A good son should let them have some quality time, too. Besides, I wanted some private time to work on my craft. I changed into my pajamas, also known as PJs, also known as jammies, pulling out my phone and the stylus from it. I've been doodling recently since I got the new phone. We're going to skip over this because I don't think... Inco's artistic skill, I get it, has like an element that ties him to Olivia. But it came about because of Olivia's fuck-up. So, I don't know, man. Metaphorically, it's a bit of a weird thing to give him as a character, especially since you took his notepad away. And he wanted to learn physical art. That's why he's covered in paint in that one scene. That's what I'm saying, Luigi. I love getting angry at irrelevant things. He thinks it's fun. Back at St. Hammond, I've been disappointed. Because photography is a bit... Like, most photography is done because people want pictures of their wedding, You never really got art. I mean, you don't know anything about art waves or anything. Remember the drawing game? Oh yeah, we're recounting one of the actions that get you no points. The doodles didn't have to be good. They were just doodles. Share them with friends. I realized over the last few days that I didn't want to think about replacing my camera, to be honest. That's so weird, though. Actually, there is a question like how much Inco actually likes photography as a concept. When you really get down to it. Because, like, unless you see photography as an inherently bad art form, it's not that integral to the character. Like, yes, it comes up in Ending 1. But in Ending 4 and 2 and 3, it's not a defining thing. Like, it could be something else, and it'd be the same. And the thematic stylings and trappings of photography are also barely addressed. Outside of the bride and groom thing, like, it's really superfluous to the character for how emphasized it is in Ending 1. But maybe I'm just stupid. I haven't played it in a while. Hence why a replay is necessary. All I could think of when I imagine buying a new camera, oh no, yes, trauma. Poor traumatized little boy. I couldn't go back to that part of me. Scared, wow. No, Inco, that's called a trauma. You're suffering actual fucking trauma, you idiot. That's not dumb. That's how... We're not getting into this, but this is not how you handle this stuff, my man. To do art... Because photography isn't art or something, I don't fucking know. There's a really odd mixed message going on here, and it gets a lot of emphasis. Oh man, it's Crimcram. I need to go to the bathroom, and I think we can just bum rush the rest. It's not all that much. We'll keep it simple. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You know, in the bathroom. Actually, we can do this section and then go to the car. Yeah, we'll do that. Christmas Day. I woke up the same time I always did. My internal clock was working as well as always, given how erratic my schedule had been recently. rolled out of bed and made my way downstairs to get something to eat. Smells good, I yawned, bleary-eyed as I entered the kitchen. Oh, look who's awake. Merry Christmas, kiddo. Oh shit, that's right, they were actually home for Christmas this year! Merry Christmas, I returned. To their credit, there was a brief moment of taken abackness before their welcoming smiles greeted me. It was still weird for me. Honestly, I feel that if you want to be that kind of person, maybe, I don't know, you point out that Inco now has a disability and he reflects on how that affects him, but I don't know, the story's pretty loaded as is. I don't know if you could fit it in there. You need a bigger story, and this, I mean, it's already a novel. It's your fucking flowery-ass prose that gets in the way, man. And they were a bit behind yet. On top of they'll have you really see you in years energy. I mean, do your parents even know you can talk normally to begin with? Maybe they imagined all that, and you've always talked like it. But they just kept scoring points with me. Mom had a pretty modest but tasty-smelling breakfast of bacon and eggs prepared. Why are you using the post verb? The posthumous verb, which he began to dish up on a plate in front of me. Dad was scrolling on his throne and sipping a cup of coffee. It's like what I imagine a normal morning would be. And I got it for Christmas this year. Not bad. What the hell is that kind of statement? That is so weirdly judgmental in a funny way. All we had to do was get them to work less, and maybe this could be kind of normal. Mom and Dad small talked about the plan for today, which was to go over to the Payne's place in about an hour. Mom said Sophia had confirmed there'd be food, but Mom felt like she had a momly duty to feed us something on an important day, which worked out fine for me. What momly duty? I mean, is she overcompensating? Because I like that idea, considering what's actually going on. You know, like, the thing that I keep hamming on about, right, is I really like the idea of people who realize that something is wrong, but they overcompensate, and they don't know why that's bad, you know? Like, it doesn't consider and analyze the deeper implications of people going the whole hog. You know what I mean? I did see someone who had a comment, and wait, I finished up my routine, and we had about 30 minutes before we had to head out. Without much ado, I opted to open the messaging app and send a Christmas greeting to our friend group. I'd heard to see no one had commented in it for quite some time now, but that was what the icebreaker. It's been a week. I have groups where we just don't talk all week until the thing comes around. Used my stylus as best as I could and sketched out a shape vaguely like Damien in Santa Clothes and a sleigh, throwing gifts to Olivia, Vinny, and Liz. Naturally, Liz was still a stick figure. The rest of the art wasn't great or even particularly good, but I felt you could at least tell who was who in it. That's the most important part now. I appended the message to the chat and fired it off. What does that even mean? You appended the message to this chat and then you send it? That's not how that works, my man. Liz and Damien responded at almost the same time, no comma or period, just quotes. How cute. Yo! Glad they liked it. As expected, however, Olivia didn't respond. Is it a friend group? Didn't Liz just talk about that? Anyway, like I said, we're going to take a quick break so I can go to the bathroom and then we can talk about the rest. And I do have some things to say that are starting to pick up over time. And yes, I make some of these mistakes too, but let's find a different soundtrack when I get back to it. Spice it up a little.